everyone, this is Lenny. Welcome to Wrestler of the Week, a new and exciting segment that's going to be on the channel moving forward. Pretty much it works like this. If you are a professional wrestler and you made the most impact within 7 days, you will be named, in my eyes, the Wrestler of the Week. With the exception of week 1, I will choose 5 male and female competitors from any promotion, even though tag teams and ties will be allowed, and I will attach a ranking to each wrestler that will look something like this. Whoever gets first place is obviously the official Wrestler of the Week. Then all points will be tabulated and calculated and accumulated towards the Wrestler of the Year award that I will give at the end of each calendar year. The week will run from Sunday through Saturday. Now, how will Wrestler of the Week be graded? There'll be 5 points that I will be looking at. 1. Which wrestler had the most impact on the industry? 2. Which wrestler had the most forward progress or momentum in their career? 3. Did the wrestler win any major matches or won any major titles or ended any major feuds? 4. Was the wrestler prominently featured? Or did the wrestler cut a promo or was part of a big angle advancement? And finally, how much did that wrestler move the pro wrestling needle? So we'll start with the top 10 for the women. At number 10 is Ruby Soho of AEW, and she was actually part of a big angle advancement where she walked out of a tag team match between her and Saraya and Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale. Saraya was left high and dry by Ruby Soho, who left her, and Saraya obviously lost that match. Now it's all about the follow-up and seeing what AEW does with Ruby Soho, but she is at number 10. Naomi is ranked at number 9. She had a pretty decent week. She had her final match in TNA, tagging with Jordynne Grace, and got a big farewell as she won that match. And now she is officially on the SmackDown roster, and Naomi's been getting a lot of big press since her return at the Royal Rumble. Number 8 is Julia from Stardom. There have been a lot of discussion about her, especially this week, when it comes to what promotion she is going to choose when she eventually leaves Stardom. Is that going to be AEW or WWE? But the Stardom superstar still has a major choice to make. But this week she found herself in the public consciousness of wrestling fans, especially in a week that was already so wild. Number 7 is AEW Women's Champion Timeless Toni Storm, who had a match, a dominating match against Red Velvet as we progress towards her collision with Deonna Purrazzo in AEW for the AEW Women's title. At number 6 is WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley, who was prominently featured during the week, whether it's through her feud with Nia Jax on Raw or appearing at the WrestleMania 40 kickoff where she had that big face-to-face with Becky Lynch. But Rhea Ripley was prominently featured on WWE TV for most of the week. Number 5 are the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. They defended their tag team titles against Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, so they end up on number 5 on the list. Number 4 is NXT Women's Champion Lyra Valkyria, who had a successful NXT Women's title defense against the prodigy Roxanne Perez at NXT Vengeance Day. Number 3 is Bianca Belair, who was prominently featured on WWE TV, both through the WrestleMania 40 kickoff, but she also qualified for the Elimination Chamber, winning a match against Michin on Friday Night SmackDown. Number 2 is Becky Lynch from Raw, and Becky was prominently featured On Monday Night Raw, she won an Elimination Chamber qualifying match against Shayna Baszler. As well, she was part of the big WrestleMania 40 kickoff and had a big face-to-face with Rhea Ripley, and it looks like that WWE is setting things up for a program between Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley. So Becky Lynch is number 2 for Wrestler of the Week. And our Wrestler of the Week for the women is Bayley, who is the 2024 Royal Rumble winner, but she had a very busy week. Even though she did not appear on the WrestleMania 40 kickoff, she is still part of one of the bigger women's angles in all of WWE and all of professional wrestling with her and Damage Control. And on Friday, the angle between her and Damage Control only progressed further when Dakota Kai appeared and seemed to have made a save for her. So we're going to see how this whole issue with Bayley, Dakota Kai, and the rest of Damage Control plays out. So based on this week Women's Wrestler of the Week, here is where everyone ranks. Now, before we do get into the men's rankings, there are a few people that I want to make sure that I give a shout out to because they did also have a pretty significant week. Blake Christian from GCW retained his championship. The Young Bucks, who are part of a major angle between Sting and Darby Allin now, and Braun Breaker, who along with Baron Corbin won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and he also appeared on Friday Night SmackDown. He is getting a lot of love as he is making a decision on what show, whether it's Raw or SmackDown, he is going to appear on. Now for the men's top 10 Wrestler of the Week. At number 10 is Carmelo Hayes from NXT, who had a big heel turn on Trick Williams during NXT Vengeance Day. He came out on NXT, had a big heel turn speech. He is on the lips of a lot of people who are watching NXT, and people are very excited about where Carmelo Hayes is going to go with his heel turn. Number 9 is Randy Orton, who won an Elimination Chamber qualifier on Friday Night SmackDown against Sami Zayn. Number 8 is Drew McIntyre, who also won an Elimination Chamber qualifier against AJ Styles. But not just that, Drew McIntyre has been absolute fire on the microphone. Whether it's been trolling CM Punk or getting people more involved in the story of Cody Rhodes, and even pulling Seth Rollins into it as he wants to gun for Seth Rollins and his World Heavyweight Championship. Drew McIntyre has had one hell of a week. Speaking of Seth Rollins, he is ranked at number 7. Seth Rollins appeared as part of the big major WrestleMania angle. He was on stage with The Rock, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes. It did feel like that he was sort of the fourth wheel in this big angle, but he is still part of it, and there are rumors swirling that he is going to be more integrated within this angle, potentially a tag match with him and Cody going up against The Rock and Roman Reigns. We don't know if this is something that will happen at Elimination Chamber or Night 1 of WrestleMania, but Seth Rollins is becoming part of this major angle, and so he is ranked at number 7. At number 6 is NXT champion Ilya Dragunov, who successfully defended the NXT title in a banger of a match against Trick Williams, but then also had another great match with Dijak, which he also won. So Ilya Dragunov is gaining a lot of momentum as the NXT champion leading into Stand and Deliver that will be happening in April. At number 5 is Sting and Darby Allin, who won the tag team titles on AEW Dynamite from Big Bill and Ricky Starks. They were attacked by the Young Bucks at the end of that match, but Sting gaining his first bit of gold in AEW is a big deal, and tagging with Darby Allin to get those titles and become part of that big angle with the Young Bucks is a big deal this week. Speaking of big angles that happen on AEW Dynamite, we have our first tie, and that is for Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page, who had an absolute banger of a match on Dynamite to declare the #1 contender for Samoa Joe's AEW World Heavyweight title. The match was amazing, and Swerve and Hangman just left it all out and left it all in the ring. And we have a three-way match now between Swerve, Hangman, and Samoa Joe. But Swerve and Hangman had a hell of a match, and they are on the public consciousness of everyone within the pro wrestling landscape. Roman Reigns is #3. He is the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. Obviously, he is the big dog. He is the #1 guy that Cody Rhodes is looking to finish his story against. But he and The Rock had a big confrontation last week on Friday Night SmackDown. But the big takeaway this week is Roman and The Rock seemingly aligning themselves together to be part of the bloodline. So Roman Reigns gets #3 here. #2 is The Rock. And The Rock, obviously, with his return on SmackDown last week, was a big moment with him facing off with Roman Reigns. But even bigger was his appearance at the WrestleMania 40 kickoff. And if anyone knows what happens, everyone knows leading up to it, The Rock was on Pat McAfee, brought out the whole thing with the Cody Crybabies. Then we had the big angle at the WrestleMania 40 kickoff that ended with the slap heard around the world, with The Rock slapping Cody Rhodes once he made his decision to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. But that seemed to be the big turn, and The Rock becoming part of the WrestleMania 40 main event between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes is going to be something that's going to be intriguing, and I am definitely excited to see what part The Rock will play as we get through the road to WrestleMania. And #1, the wrestler of the week. And really, it could not be anyone else but the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. When things started last week, the entire wrestling world was on fire. We Want Cody became a major hashtag, and the backlash behind him deciding not to choose Roman Reigns for WrestleMania was unreal. So we got Cody Rhodes to appear on Monday Night Raw. We had the big hijacking of the first 20 minutes of the show, which really sucked the energy out of the arena and the rest of the show. But again, the big angle coming out of this week was the WrestleMania 40 kickoff, and Cody Rhodes making his choice known and clear that he is gunning after Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania 40 so he can finish the story. So with all of that and the big heel turn with The Rock and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins being involved, Cody Rhodes walks away with the Wrestler of the Week for February 11th, week #1. And with that, here are the official rankings for the men. Yeah. And that is it for Wrestler of the Week, week #1. Do you agree or disagree with any of my rankings? Share your thoughts, leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notifications as well. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care.